My name is Venn, and welcome back to Economics. We've been talking about a lot of things lately, but this particular video is on set theory and Venn diagrams, and this is part 3 of it because we've treated set theory part 1, part 2. The first part was talking about set theory, basically what does union mean, what does intersection mean, and all of those things. Now, the second class was all about dealing with two Venn diagrams. So we treated an exercise that has we just had to draw two circles, And this third class will be talking about dealing with three Venn diagrams. So we have 3 circles instead of 2 circles. Now the thing is pretty much easy. It's not difficult. I will get to it soon. Now the thing I want to also I want to also announce that there shall be a fourth in part 4, and in part 4 we'll be talking about 3 Venn diagrams as well. But looking at it we'll be treating an exercise. I'll be looking at Venn diagram, 3 Venn diagrams from a different perspective. Yeah, from a different perspective. Every one of them, they happen to be very simple, but let's just try to get the logic. Now, this question says, so we have in this video we have this exercise. A study to determine the educational history of PG students, that is postgraduate students, in the Faculty of Economics UI, which is University of Ibadan, Nigeria, was undertaken using a sample of 170 students. Now, the outcome showed that 36 students attended both P and S. Now, note at this point that P is primary education, S is secondary education, and B is post-secondary education. It's in the question anyway. Now, the outcome showed that 36 students attended both P and S, that is both primary and secondary education. 31 students attended S and B, that is secondary and post-secondary. Now, 63 students, 63 students, and 46 students attended primary, secondary, and post-secondary education respectively. If 21 students attended P, S, and B, I missed. This was meant to be part of the question, but somehow I didn't notice at first. So 8 students attended B only. That is, 8 students attended post-secondary education only. So we have that as an additional information. So if 20 students attended primary, secondary, and post-secondary education, given that P equals primary, S equals secondary, and B equals post-secondary, including this information here that 8 students attended B only. How many students attended S only, P and S, but not B, and on like that? So everything that I have here is like a comprehension passage. So it's basically English. So what are we to work with? Now the thing is, we need to find what the universal set is. Some questions don't have the universal set, but we need to find what it is. Now, universal set is talking about the entirety, the whole, the population size or the sample size in general. Now, the question already says that a study to determine the educational history of PG students in the Faculty of Economics UI was undertaken using a sample of 170 students. So, since 170 students was used in the sample, so our universal set is 170. That's why we have U equals 170. Some denote it as E, big U, whatever. So just note that it is 170. Now, the outcome showed that 36 students attended both P and S, so that we call that cardinality of P intersection S equals 36 attended this and this. So this is more or less like number of those that did P and S, but it's called cardinality actually. Now the next is 31 attended S and B. So number of cardinality of people attended S and B. So S intersection B is 31. Then 73 students, 63 and 40 attended P, S, and B respectively. So since it is respectively, that means 73 students attended primary education only, so you have cardinality of P equals 73. And what's next? 63 students attended S, so to be S, so number of S is 3. And how many people attended B? So we have 46 students attending B, that's the post-secondary education, which is 46. Then we have cardinality of 21 students attended P, S, and B. So 21 students attended the 3 levels of education. So number of cardinality of P intersection S intersection B equals 21. So 8 students attended B only. So how do we denote that? So it's cardinality of, since it is B only, so it will be P prime intersection S prime intersection B. So this is how to write B only equals 8. So if you don't understand this, then that means you really have to see the first class. So we explain all of this, B only, C only, or whatever in the first class. It is very, very easy. Now, so we want to start dealing with the questions now. Now the thing is, since we are talking about 3 different categories, primary, secondary, and post-secondary, so we are going to be drawing 3 circles. But first, you have to draw a box. So we have a box. So this is what we call the Venn diagram itself. We have a box. Then the 3 different categories will represent 3 circles. So we have three circles that are going to intersect one another. Now, since P represents primary education, so we name one P, we name the other one secondary, and then we name the third circle post-secondary. Okay, and so now we start fixing all of these things. Universal set is 170, so you can just keep that somewhere. Number of people that went to primary school in total, there are 73. So we write 73 inside the circle that belongs to P. Number of students that attended secondary school education in total, 63. The same thing for B, which is 46. Now, number of students that attended the 3. So where is the 3 circle? Where are the three circles intersecting? So they are intersecting at this point. So say at this point is inside S, this point is inside B, this point is inside P. So we have 21 inside. Then we have how many students? Okay, I think I've explained this. Attended B only. So B only, that's already telling us that allowances have been made. Allowances have been made for students that we've removed students that attended B and B only. We've removed students that attended post-secondary education and other forms of education. Now the thing is, the gist is this: 46 students attended post-secondary education in total. But out of those 46 that attended post-secondary education in total, X attended post-secondary and P, and 31 of them attended post-secondary and secondary school, and 21 of them attended the 3. So out of these 46, there are people that attended this, and this all together. So what we have to do is, for us to get the number of people that attended B only, we need to deduct number of people that attended P and B only, S and B only, and all of that. So how are we going to do that? To get the number of students that attended primary and post-secondary education only. So we have to. So the value here is X, right? So if the value here is X, so how do we get P and B only? So it's going to be the number of students that attended P and B only minus the number of students that attended the 3. Okay, 21 students attended the three schools. All right. So we want to get the number of people that attended only these 2. So that would be X minus the number of students that attended the 3. So that's whatever answer we get is going to be the value of students that attended only this. So then this is now going to become X. Okay. So let me just write it somewhere. So cardinality of P intersection B intersection S prime, because S is not passed, is now going to be what? X minus 21. So that's the gist. Okay, now how many students? Since 31 students attended S and B, so some of them attended the 3 schools. So I want to get how many students attended only S and B. So that's going to give us so we have cardinality of. So how do we write that now? Of course, I believe you know that now. So it will be P prime, because P is not passed. P prime intersection S intersection B, and that's going to give us 31 students that attended all of this minus 21, so which is 10 minus this number that attended 3. Now we have 36 students attending P and S. So but out of these 36 students, there are some of these students that are here that are attending the 3 of them, but once you get the number of students attending P and S only, primary and secondary school only, so it's going to be the value here minus the number of students attending the 3 of them. So we have cardinality of P intersection S intersection B prime. You know, this is not B, is not a B prime. We'll have what? 36 minus 21. 36 minus 21, and that's going to give us 15. So that means 15 students attend P and S only. Then we'll be having let me just write it something small. I think 10 students attend secondary school and post-secondary school education only, and we can't get this yet because this is X. Now I was explaining earlier that to get this only, so that means the number of students that went to post-secondary education minus the number of students that went to post-secondary education and primary school only. I think you get the gist. Then minus the number of students that attended post-secondary and secondary school only, then minus the number of students that attended the 3 schools. So that's not going to give us the number of students that attended only post-secondary school or acquired only post-secondary education, and that was what gave that was why 8 was here in the first place. So we are going to use that information to get what the value of this is going to be. Now, so I'll now write this cardinality of. So I just want us to get that X before we then continue. So it makes things easier when we have the value of X already. So cardinality of, we are trying to look for. Okay, so 8 represents cardinality of P intersection S. P prime intersection S prime intersection B, this is B only, equals, so how will you get this? So that will be the number of people, number of students that attended B in general, cardinality of B, minus the number of students that attended B and whatever. So we have cardinality of P intersection B intersection S prime, okay, that is this and this alone, then plus cardinality of, we open the bracket, how about this, S intersection B intersection P prime, that's telling us that the number of students that attended S and secondary and post-secondary school education alone, then inside that bracket still plus cardinality of people, the number of students that attended the 3 P intersection B intersection S. So we close that. So now we already have this as 8 from the question. So 8 equals cardinality of number of students that attended B in total 46 minus, then we open this. So this is B intersection P intersection B intersection S prime, this intersection D. So that's going to give us, because we are looking at P and B only, which is what we have here. So that's x minus 21, x minus 21. We don't have that, x minus 21. Then plus how many students attended secondary and post-secondary school education only. So which is 10 plus 10. Then plus how many students attended, then this is the last one, the three of them, P intersection B intersection S, which is 21. So we then continue. So we close this. So S is then equal to 46 minus x minus 21 plus this is going to give us what, 31. Alright, so 8 equals 46 minus x. Okay, so minus 21 plus 31 is going to give us plus 10. So let me just continue the whole thing here. I'll soon erase the board. So 8 equals 46. So 46 minus x, minus times this is going to give us minus x, minus times this is going to give us minus as well, minus 10. So 8 equals 46 minus 10 is 36. 36 minus x. So we bring x to this side, so it becomes a plus. X equals 36 minus 8. So x thus will be 36 minus 8 is going to give us 28. Yeah, I think so. 28. So x is 28. So x here is 28, and that is telling us the number of people that attended P and B and whatever. So to get the number of students that attended P and B only, that is x minus 21, right? So this will now become so cardinality of this and this is not going to become. Let me just extend it. It's going to become x is already 28. 28 minus 21, which is what, 7. That means 7 students attended. Let me write that. Okay, that's small. 7 students attended primary and post-secondary education only. So 7 students attended that only. Now that we have, and remember that x is already, we already have x to be 28. Okay, so which happens to be the value of the number of people that went to primary and post-secondary education before we removed the number of students that attended the 3. So 28 students in total did this and this, but some of these 28 also did, some of these 28 were also inside this place. So also did, also attended, secondary education. But now that we've removed all of that, so only 7 students went to primary and post-secondary education alone. I don't know how that happened. Primary, then you jump secondary and then post-secondary, whatever. But it is what it is. So we start attempting the question. So the question now says S only. So how many students attended S only? S only. So how do we do that? How many students attended S only? So I'll run off this part of the board now, since we are done with the comprehension passage, and then solve all of these questions there. So our first question: how many students attended S only? That is, how many students attended secondary school only, or acquired secondary education only? So what we have to do is, we have the number of people that attended secondary school in total, and that happens to be 63. But some of them attended primary school as well. That is why you have this, which is P P intersection S. And some of these 63 students also attended, post-secondary school education, which is 31. Now I want to know how many of them actually went to secondary school only. So now the thing is, the job has been made easier because all we have to do is to subtract the number of people that attended only P and S. And remember that is already 15. And we subtract the number of students that attended only S and B, which is already 10. And then the number of students that attended 3 schools. So the thing is, it's now like number of students that attended secondary school alone. Okay, let's just solve it. So how do we get number of students that attended only secondary school? So only secondary school, how do we denote that? That's what N. So cardinality of we have P prime intersection S intersection B prime. So equals okay, cardinality of S, number of students that attended secondary school minus, you open this bracket, you open something like that. So minus cardinality of people that attended primary and secondary school only. So it is easier to do the subtraction like that. So we have minus this P intersection S intersection B prime, okay, plus open a bracket, number of students that attended secondary school and post-secondary school only. So cardinality of P prime intersection S intersection B, okay, plus cardinality of number of students that attended secondary school, primary school, and post-secondary school altogether, okay, minus cardinality of P intersection S intersection B. Why I'm writing all of these notations is simply because your exams might be theory questions, and these notations actually carry more marks than the actual solutions, than the actual numbers. So if you are able to write these things correctly, of course, you are going to earn more marks than if you just go on and start writing test 1 minus 21 first and all of that. Okay, so this is now going to be, so we don't know what this is. So we are going to be having 63, which is the number of students that acquire secondary school education in general, minus those that went to secondary school as well as primary school only, and they are 15 in number. 15. So it is easier now that after we solved the whole thing, plus those that attended secondary, those that acquired secondary education and post-secondary education only, which is 10 plus 10. Okay, then plus those that attended the 3, which is 21 plus 21. So that's now going to give us 63 minus 15 plus 10 is 25. 25 plus 21 is 46. 46. Okay, 15 plus 10 is 25. 25 plus 21, yeah, of course, 46. So 63 minus 46 is going to give us 17. So that means 17 students acquired secondary school education only. 17 of them. So I can just write that as small 17. So we are done with that question. So I can just erase this. I'm done with that question. So to create more space. Now, how many students? So we have P and S, but not B. So which is just telling us that how many students went to primary and secondary schools only? Okay, how many students went to primary and secondary schools only? Because we have P and S, but not B. So that's the meaning. They didn't acquire post-secondary school education. Just P and S only. That's just going to give us cardinality of that's going to be cardinality of P intersection S intersection B prime. But funny enough, I think you've already solved this. P intersection S intersection B prime, which is 15. So there's no point in solving it again. That's already what we have here. So which is 15. So that's about that. We've already done that. Then C says how many acquired B and S but not P. So how many went to post-secondary schools and secondary schools alone, but not primary schools. So that is just going to be, this is P is not there, so P prime, intersection secondary, intersection post-secondary, because I think we've done that as well. P prime intersection, that is 10. So that is 10, so there's no point in solving it again. We already did that, equals 10. Then D says, you said it's so straightforward, so simple. This says P and B. So this is trying to tell us that these are a number of students that acquired primary and post-secondary education, but some of them still went to secondary schools. So that's why you have P and B. So there's a difference between P and B and B only. Alright, some of them still went to secondary schools, and that was actually what X meant. X, so that is going to give us 28. We already solved that. I already get 28. So X equals 28. So there's no point. So that's going to be, how do we write that? Cardinality of, that would be cardinality of P intersection B. So there's no need to put S prime, and that is 28. We already got that. That's 28. Then we have E. I believe you understand all of these things. Then we have E. P only. How many students went to primary schools only? So we've not even done that before. Alright, that's not difficult. So it's going to be the number of students that went to primary schools altogether, and that is 73. Then we start, subtracting number of students that went to primary schools and secondary schools only. Then we subtract number of students that went to primary schools and post secondary schools only, and then we subtract number of students that went to primary schools, secondary schools, and post-secondary schools only. So by the time we do all of that, we'll be left this number of students that went to only primary schools. So that is going to be, so what we are looking for now is cardinality of P intersection S prime intersection B prime. So which is going to give us cardinality of P itself, number of students that went to primary schools, altogether, minus, so cardinality of number of students that went to this and this only, cardinality of P intersection S intersection B prime, yeah, I think so, plus cardinality of number of students that went to this and this only, P intersection B intersection S prime, good, then plus cardinality of students that went to the three schools, P intersection S intersection B. So I think we are done with this. I'm done with this. So just to create space. Hope I'm not cleaning. Okay. Alright, so I think we are good to go. So E, so that's going to give us, so this is going to give us 63 minus, you open this, 15 plus 15 plus P intersection S intersection B prime, okay, then P intersection B intersection S prime plus 7, 15 plus 7, then plus 21. So this is 63 minus, we open this, 15 plus 7 is 22, 22 plus 21, I think, yeah, 22 plus 21 is 43, 22 plus 21 is 43 if I'm right, so 63 minus 43 equals 20. So 20 students, if these calculations are correct, so 20 students attended primary schools only. So I can just write that. 20 students attended primary schools only. Alright, so now the next question is question F, which says, how many students attended at least one of P, S, and B? How many students attended at least one of, that means how many students attended at least primary school, secondary school, or post-secondary school, or primary and secondary school, primary and when you say at least, alright, so at least mean minimum. So how many students attended at least one of these schools? So that means some students attended one of the schools, some students attended two of the schools, and some students attended three of the schools. So that's what it means. So that's going to be the summation of students that attended each of the schools only, two of the schools only, and then the three schools. Okay, I think you get that. So at least means, at least one of the schools. So that means it's either some students, we are talking about students that went to only one of the schools, and students that went to two of the schools, plus students that went to three of the schools. So how do we denote that? That is going to be a union. So that would be, because we're looking at P union S union B. That's what we are looking at. So how do we do that? So we start, adding. So that would be cardinality of, I went to primary schools only. So P intersection S prime intersection B prime, okay, plus cardinality of secondary schools only, P prime intersection S intersection B prime, plus for secondary schools only, that would be P prime intersection S prime intersection B. So we are done with that. Now plus we now start adding the two of the schools. So primary and secondary. So these are people that we are now adding people that went to two of the schools, at least two of the schools. So we have P, not at least two of the schools. So we've done one of the schools. So we're going to plus people that attended two of the schools and plus people that attended three schools. So two of the schools now is you have P intersection S intersection B prime. Okay, plus cardinality of this and this. So you have P intersection S prime intersection B. Then that's not all. Then plus cardinality of S intersection, let me start with from P. So cardinality of P prime intersection S intersection B. So we are done with students that went to 2 of the schools now, then plus students that went to all of the schools. Now we cardinality of P intersection S intersection B. Alright, so that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So what do we do now? So just sum up the whole thing. So this is going to be equal to 73. Is it 73? No. And then this will be equal to 20 plus 17 plus 8 plus P intersection, so that will be 15 plus 7 P intersection B intersection S prime plus 7, then plus 10, this small 10, these are going to secondary schools and post-secondary schools alone, so plus 10. So we are done with, so we have, this will be 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then plus the number of students that went to the 3 schools, 21. So the sum is going to give us all of, so 20 plus 17 is 37, 37 plus 8 is 45, 45 plus 15 is 60, 60 plus this 67, 67 plus 10 is 77, yeah, of course 77, then 77 plus this is 98, so we have 98 students. Alright, so yeah, I think that is correct. So we have 20 plus 17, 20, 17, 8, okay, plus 15 plus 7 plus 10 plus 21. So 98 students. Now the next question now says, how many students attended none of the schools? None of the schools, so which is G. None of the schools means, so how do we do that? Say cardinality of P union S union B then prime. Alright, prime. So none of the schools, and that's going to give us the universal set. So that will be the universal set minus students that are in all of the schools. So I think I can erase this now. Minus students that attended all of the schools. So these are representing students that did not attend, any of the schools. So that will be the number of people in the sample minus students that attended, all of the schools. So minus cardinality of P union S union B. So that's going to give us 170 minus 98. 170 minus 98, and that should give us 72. Yeah, 72. So 72 students. So 72 students will be, we just put 72 students. 28 is not meant to be here, I'm just using that to explain. So I can as well just erase this. I'm just using that to explain. So 72 will be outside the 3 boxes, outside the 3 circles, but within the box. So 72 does not belong to P, does not belong to S, does not belong to P. So 72 people did not attend any of the 3 schools. Now the last question there says that we should depict the information on the Venn diagram, which we've already done. So that is that on the board. So that's the information on the Venn diagram. Oops, sorry, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. When I was calculating the number of students that attended primary school only, what is there is 73, it's not 63. 73. So what is there is going to be 73. 73. So 73 students minus every other remains the same. Minus this, so we have, this is going to be 73, then this is 73 minus 43, then that is 30. So what we have here is 30 students attended a primary school only, 30 students. I'm sorry for that, I took 63 for 73, and that affects our answer slightly here. So what we have here is, this is cardinality of those that went to primary school only, so P intersection S prime intersection this. So this is not 20, this is 30. This is 30. So at the end of the day, this now gives us 108. This is 108, and then our answer is 62. Yeah, that's the mistake. I apologize for that. So what we have here is 62. We have here 62. So everything remains the same. Thank you very much for attending. As I said earlier, there will be another video on a Venn diagram involving 3 circles. Looking at the different dimension of how questions can come. Questions could be in this form. Another questions will come in another form. So we'll be treating a different form of a 3-Venn diagram in the next video. If you enjoyed this class, please make sure you click on the like button, subscribe button as well, and then turn on notifications by clicking on the bell button that appears after the subscription button. Subscription is entirely free. You don't have to pay for anything. Please don't keep this channel to yourself. Share with your friends, your colleagues in class. Share with your enemies, to get them busy. Once they are busy with Venn diagram, they won't have time to disturb and all of that. But that was a joke. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you once again. Hope you enjoyed the video you just saw. If you want more of our videos, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. Now there is a way to enjoy, to make the best of our YouTube channel, which is to go to the playlist section of every video or of every topic. So what you have to do is just type Economics on YouTube. When the page displays, make sure you subscribe. A bell button appears immediately, so you click on that bell button. Then go to the playlist section. So you are going to see videos, playlists, description, and all of that. So just go to the playlist section, and whatever topic you are looking for, look for the playlist and click on the video. Now our playlists have the classes arranged in a very chronological manner. So if you want to see a class on ISLM, so it starts from the beginning, the simple ones to the difficult to the complex ones. So if you want to see a video on, let's say, elasticity of demand, so you start from what is price elasticity, so from there then to the basic ones, and on and on. So I'm just telling you that in case you really want to make the best of this YouTube channel. And there's also one thing that I want to add, which is that our YouTube classes may not be enough for you. You may want a regular interaction with the tutors and all of that. So what you just have to do is to check the description of the video. You are going to find a WhatsApp link. So but before you do that, I really have to tell you that clicking that link is going to lead you to one of our schools. It's going to lead to some of our schools. So we have MOG School of Economics on WhatsApp, and we make use of our YouTube channel to run the groups. So the classes are paid for, so you're meant to pay for them. So to join our Econometrics school, so that is 2,500 naira per month, and to join our Microeconomics or Macroeconomics schools, so that is 2,000 naira per month. We also have we don't have classes, or we don't have schools of mathematical economics, because Microeconomics has its mathematical aspects as well as macroeconomics. So the mathematical aspect of macroeconomics is treated in the macroeconomics school, and the mathematical aspect of microeconomics is treated with the microeconomics school as well. So I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.